Hi there, I'm Owen.
And I'm Lynn.
And we're Van Trekking Lifestyle. And in today's video, we are in the beautiful setting of a hike at Valdez, Alaska. And Maggie and the two of us are really enjoying it. And we thought we would take a break from the hike and answer 7 of the questions that you guys have had over the last few weeks about our travels and our Travato in Alaska. So the very first question, and the one that made us laugh the most, was, how have you not killed each other?
In such a small space.
I think that's what they meant,
Yeah.
So
well, I don't know. First of all, you have to like each other, you know, and you have to have a lot of things in common and some of the same goals.
You do.
Yeah.
You have to be pretty organized.
You do have to be organized.
And so you keep the cabinets pretty clean and you don't leave things out. When you finish one thing, you put it up and you make the most of that small space.
Right.
We
have our routines.
Yeah. Like in the morning, I'll get up and the first thing I do is I'll go make coffee and she'll make up the beds. And that puts us in 2 different spaces in that little bitty van. And so it makes it better.
Yeah. And we like to be outside, so a lot of times we're not even in the van.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When we're traveling, we're sitting in it, and it's actually cool to have the van when you're rolling down the road because you can stop and make sandwiches, you can rest if you want to. You've got a lot of different things that you could do that you wouldn't have if you were in a car or another vehicle. So it's actually a positive for that. But I think the biggest thing is you just have to love each other and you have to like each other a lot. And you have to like spending time together.
And like doing the same things.
Yeah. Like hiking, which is what we're going to go do now. And we'll answer another question while we're on this trail, and then we'll show you what we're hiking out to see. By the way, that first question came from Dale Kroll. We really appreciate how often you comment on our videos and how supportive you've been.
It was a morning in June when I heard that tune falling up to the beat of...
Hey, buddy. So the next question is from Aurora Knight, who asked, we're curious, with all your previous RV experience, and you've had big RVs and small RVs, when you go on something epic like Alaska, do you think it's better to have a big RV and tow that, or maybe a trailer behind a truck or something, or a small van like you guys have? Well, I guess, of course, we will probably answer the question that it's better to have a small van like we have. Simply because, you know, right now we don't even know where we're going to spend the night tonight, and we're not the least bit worried about that. There's just so many places for us to stop.
So it's just so much more convenient. It's easier to find boondocking places. We can park downtown and just stay downtown if we want to here in Valdez.
In a very small space.
In a very small space. And
we can go off-road if we want to and go up dirt roads and gravel paths, and we've done a lot of that. And we can stay in campgrounds.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the campgrounds that we've stayed in, when we've got a mosquito on you. A lot of the mosquitoes. A lot of the campgrounds have not really been what we would say are campgrounds in the lower 48. They've been
a little rougher.
Yeah, rougher and not very much room, so it would be difficult to get a bigger rig here. So, given the choice, I think we would say come in a small van like this if you have that choice. But if you have a trailer already, I wouldn't stay home and not bring it.
Right.
I would come on. You know, if you have a big 44-foot diesel pusher motorhome, we've seen those here too.
Yeah, we've seen everything here. So
come on up here with what you have already and just enjoy Alaska. That's what we would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So the spot that we stopped to answer that question is pretty precious.
Rain sails from a startled trail. Our eyes met and then landed so well.
So this next question comes from Jackie Collier, and she points out that two women of a certain age, they're a little concerned about boondocking decisions. So she had two questions. First, how do you decide if a spot is safe? And second, do you carry a gun?
So that's a really good question. And I think most of that comes down to our gut feeling, if a place is safe or not.
Yeah, and both of us have to feel like it's safe, not just one of us. If we get there and one of us says, I'm not really sure about this, and sometimes it's me and sometimes it's Lynn, but if one of us says, I've got a gut feeling about this, we'll leave.
Right.
If it's just a little bit iffy, if we get there and we think, well, you know, we got to walk ahead because Maggie's on up ahead of us. So, yeah. But if we get there and it's just a little bit iffy, or if we're not totally certain, then what we'll do is we'll take a few precautions. You know, the first thing we'll do is we'll back into the site, or we'll make sure that we can get out of there just by putting it in drive and pulling away.
Right.
So if in the middle of the night we need to, we can just pull out without having to back up and move around and back up and move around. So that's always a good thing. The other thing we'll do is we'll keep the seats turned around so that all we've got to do is put the key in and we can pull away. Here's what Maggie's doing up there. As you can
might be another dog.
We've reached the end of this. Yeah, that other couple had a couple
Maggie,
of dogs.
Come here.
So we've reached the end of this trail, and you can see what the payoff is for this trail. And the payoff is awesome. It's a beautiful place. So the second part of that question is, do you carry a gun? So what's the answer to that?
As far as I know, we don't carry a gun.
As far as you know. If you come knocking on our door in our van in the middle of the night and you're aggressive and we feel threatened, I'm pretty sure you're going to not like being sprayed by bear spray or mace, or I would not count on the fact that we don't have a gun. But truthfully for us, we don't carry a gun right now. But Lynn thinks that we should.
I do. I mean, especially with the scare that that's happened on the Alaskan highway this year and stuff. I mean, you just never can be too careful.
Yeah, so we may carry one in the future. So if you see this later and think they're an easy target, don't think so, because I'm pretty good at spraying bear spray, and we have some murder weapons, as Casey would say, in the van, and we're not afraid to use them if we need to. But no, we don't carry a gun. But truthfully, we've been very careful. We've never been in a situation where we felt like that was necessary, have we?
No,
So,
we haven't.
So one of the things, though, that Jackie, that Lynn pointed out is that we're a conventional married couple in that we've got one old man and one very beautiful woman. But what were you saying? That
I think it's you're more vulnerable when you're a woman, and if you're a woman traveling by yourself, or even if you're two women, people might see that as being vulnerable, and
might try to take advantage of that.
Try to take advantage of it, and having a gun. And I'm sure most people are responsible in carrying a gun, and you're gonna know how to use it and know how to take care of it.
So if you were by yourself in a van, would you have a gun?
Yeah, probably I would.
Okay, so does that answer that, Jackie? Thanks for asking the question. We hope we answered it. So many times we get asked the question, are you glad you came to Alaska? I'll let the scenery that we can see from where we walk to the end of this trail answer that.
Before you could speak, before you could weep, I held your hand in mine, like a shell on a beach, waiting for your reach, falling up to the mountain to climb. You came reassuring, Mother Nature's procuring, there's no need for doubt in his mind. You came reassuring, Mother Nature's procuring, there's no need for doubt in his mind. And our eyes align like the sun through the pines in a silent space, in a cup full of time.
So that was Maggie's friend, or new friend, Gracie, who's a 3-year-old, beautiful blue eyes, and they had a blast running and playing here. So our friends from North Carolina, the Snaps, they had 2 questions. So they wanted to know, have we had any mice in the van yet?
I have seen mice droppings in the van. And what I have done so far is I use peppermint essential oil and put it on a cotton swab and put it in all the drawers. And so far that has worked as far as getting rid of the mice. We have bought a couple of mouse traps, but after I use the oil, I didn't seem to see any more droppings.
Yeah, luckily I haven't had to put them out.
Yeah.
There's one advantage of her doing that too, is it smells like Christmas all the time in all the drawers.
It does smell good.
Yeah.
So, and it, it's safe, and we don't have to worry about Maggie getting into it or anything like that.
So the Snaps also had a second question. Did we rent a Travato before we chose to buy one?
No, we did not. But we've had so many other RVs that we felt like that we kind of knew what we were looking for, and that we knew that if we were going to like it or not. So if we hadn't had all the other ones, I think we might have done that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good idea if you're not sure, of anything, to rent one and try it out and see if you like it.
Aaron Stone asked about the shower curtain. Does it keep everything dry, and is it a pain in the butt to clean up? What are your thoughts? Does it keep everything dry?
It keeps all the walls dry, and it's really easy to put up. It's really easy to just get ready to take a shower. The part I do clean up is the floor. I'll take the mat out of the bottom of the shower, and because that we use it at other times, there is dirt below there from our shoes and whatever.
It gets a little dirty there.
It does get a little dirty, and it's wet. And then your bamboo mat is wet, so I wipe that off, and then I'll wipe out the bottom of the shower and around the toilet where it kind of gets wet. But it takes 5 minutes to do that. I mean, and to be honest, it took us a long time to use it, because I was very skeptical about it. And
we went a year without taking a shower in the van.
Yeah. So it was crazy for us to do that, because it's so convenient and so easy. So after the curtain is dry, I fold it up and I put it in a Walmart bag, and I put it in our little basket that we keep beside of the toilet with all our toiletries and our toilet paper. I'll show you what that looks like. So here's how the basket fits beside the toilet. It is a collapsible basket, so it kind of forms into the space right beside the toilet and the door. And we keep our dirty clothes basket right here, which is empty right now. Extra dirty clothes are under the bed. Our toothbrush. And of course the shower. Shower curtain is awesome if you just want to come back here and use the bathroom. But as you can see, there's plenty of space back here. And our cozy little shower.
So I'll answer the next one because it has to do with the Thule. W.A. and Neil and Sandy ask, how did you decide how to put the Thule on there, and can you show us a picture of how you rearranged it now that it's pointing the correct direction? And we'll do that now. I crawled up on top of the van and made a really short little video so you guys can see how that looks. So I climbed up here on the roof of the Travato to show you the way that we have the Thule oriented now. Many of you have asked that question. We took the rail from the very front and we moved it to the middle here, and then we placed the Thule on that, and the holders for the Thule go across around these rails, and it sits right here perfectly. The only thing we can say is that we're glad we moved it to be pointing in the right direction, because it really did increase our gas mileage by at least 3 miles per gallon.
For the great moon in the middle of June, falling up to the pole of the tide. Though I've seen it before, nothing I've ever been told can touch this feeling inside. You came reassuring, Mother Nature's procuring. There's no need for doubt in his mind. You came reassuring, Mother Nature's procuring. There's no need for doubt in his mind.
So have you ever wondered how fish spawn? This is a male and female salmon, and then you can watch. They've ended their swim all the way up this little narrow little stream. The female has already started digging out on a little shallow place to lay her eggs, and as soon as she finishes, the male that's there will fertilize the eggs, and that's all she wrote, and they'll swim downstream. Out in the wild, this is something that happens all the time. So see right there, the female is trying to dig out a place to lay her eggs. The male that's right there will fertilize the eggs, and 100 to 200 to 300 to 1,000 little salmon will be born. The unfortunate thing is not very many of them will make it back out to the ocean, and that's why we have the hatchery. And at the hatchery, things happen a little bit differently than out here in the wild. But in the wild, in these streams, you'll always see pairs of fish. Just like here. You see 2 there and 2 over here, and then further on down the stream, there's 2 more. There's 2 more. And then every now and then you'll see one lone male sneaking in to try to, well, sneak in on that female. And if that's the case, if this is what's happening here, you'll see the male chase that dude away, because he's saying, don't mess with my woman. We swam this far together, and we're going to have these babies. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So Dale Crowell had the question that we're going to end this video with. What's next? And I'm assuming the question really is, what do you do after Alaska? How do you top it? So how do you top it?
We don't know, to be honest. I mean, we've knocked around a lot of things, and we've asked ourselves several times on this trip, what could be next? What could top this? So we're knocking around a couple of things. We will go home, and we'll stay home for a while, and probably the first of the year, a little while after the first of the year, we'll probably set out for warmer weather.
Right.
And we've looked at, or talked about, Mexico maybe, and Arizona, and
someplace like that. But since you've asked us a bunch of questions, we'll ask you a question. Where do you think we should go next? What would be something that we could experience that would make us smile as much as Alaska has made us smile? If you've got a place that you can suggest, leave it down below in the comments and let us know what you think. And Lynn and I are really, really glad you're part of this journey. Many of you have been here since we first got the van. We really, truly appreciate you know.
right. And we love your comments.
See you down the road. Thanks for being part of this.
Eyes aligned like the sun through the pines, in a silent space, in a cup full of time. In these orderly ways, in this disorderly life, I let go of my hand in the jar. And our eyes align like the sun through the pines, in a silent space, in a cup full of time. In these orderly ways, in this disorderly life, I let go of my hand in the jar. I let go of my hand in the jar. I let go of my hand in the jar.
Thanks for watching and for subscribing. Maggie says happy tales. Be sure to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and on the web, Van Trading Lifestyle. Thanks for being part of the journey.